6:30, so I will call the work session of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia for Monday, July 24th, 2023 to order. We do have a quorum. Everyone is present. First, we'll go through the regular business meeting items. So we have the invocation. We've got Chaplain Jackie Turner.
Yes.
Planning on being here. Pledge, anyone?
I'll do it.
Solange?
I'm gonna do it.
And we'll have the minutes. We've got two items under the public hearing, RZ 2303, splits silk properties for the Kroger property out there at Rosebud. Any questions or issues for the work session?
We had a meeting with the applicants a week ago, I think last Tuesday or Wednesday. And still have some questions. I know they submitted an updated letter of intent, but there's not comfort for council to move forward. So we asked that it be tabled to the next meeting.
Okay. And that's been discussed with applicants. That's good with that. All right, and then we have second reading RZ 2304. B.H. Johnson and B.J. Longnecker and Yates to subdivide Beverly Lane. Any issues there for the work session?
Sure.
Well, Jason had brought up that there were quite a few people, I guess the whole neighborhood showed up about the dividing of the single lot.
I think the pushback that I saw wasn't necessarily for the subdivision, but an issue that exists along Lenora Church as far as when the bus comes down, and I guess they have to stop in the street and people go too fast and they're worried that maybe the bus stop is gonna move or something, but I mean, honestly, that's an issue with
The school board.
and the school. That's kind of what I said, so I tried to educate a little bit last time, so we'll see.
We'll see how well you did by how many people show up tonight.
Well, they'll probably be here, I told them to come, just understand that what we can do and what the effects of that zoning will be and what the effects of what's already been there for a long time.
Is that a county road or a
Yeah.
state road?
County maintained
Lenora
road,
Church,
right?
yeah.
So,
And is there a house on there now?
No.
No,
Just all
it's a
vacant.
corner house
Yeah.
that is a little bit smaller than it needs to be for two lots. So in order to get two lots there, it's an estate lot that I believe the owner had mothers from years and years ago. They need just this, they could either got a variance or rezone, and we felt like it'd be more appropriate to rezone. It's always right to, instead of attaching a bunch of variances. So everything looks good on our end. Consider it a small action.
because isn't it the difference between, they're just a hair under being able to do it under the
Like
current zoning.
10 or 10,000 square feet on two lots, or maybe even a little bit less than that. Very, very small. And the guy, the applicant's been working on this thing for probably about 3 years, coming back and talking to us and making sure everything was done right. So he's done his job on as far as providing and being involved. So we recommend approval. There may be some issues that the county can work out at the bus stop, but I don't really see one extra, 2, 3, 5 extra cars causing anything. If anything, it would provide some sidewalks there, perhaps, and maybe a new bus stop.
Yeah.
Where's ingress egress to those lots? Is that on Beverly or on?
On Beverly.
Yeah, we wouldn't allow them any.
Yeah, so that's,
It'd be, I think the concern is with two lots, you can push one house as far as you can down towards the interior, and then the driveway will slide down with it. But I mean, it's gotta be within tolerance anyway for our road, so I mean, it's kind of meet a minimum. If nothing really changes, they can put it wherever they want it, even on the one lot, they can push it all the way up.
Right. Greg, is there any way to potentially get another speed limit sign right there before Beverly on Lenore Church? Is that something we can do, or is that something that has to go to the county?
On
Lenore,
Yeah, I can, it has to go to the county for the speed limit.
It's a little tricky because you're coming off that sharp turn. Right. Of no stop, I don't know. if
And that's what
there's
Chief
a
was
spot for
saying
it.
too. He said he believes that that's a 45 the second you
It
cross
is.
over. Do you
It
know
is.
that?
Yeah, it's a 45.
Right,
See you
so-
get in your car.
I mean, unless they were
People are
to just
usually
change the
on
speed
my-
limit,
my
nothing
butt.
effectively is gonna get done anyway, so. I
I'm
mean,
usually
it's-
slow.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's just a
Because
tricky
people
area.
slingshot right
Mhm,
through
they
there,
go
and that's the
right.
concern, but,
Mhm.
I mean, that's gonna happen
Well,
regardless.
It's very hard, you know, if you're trying to get over.
I mean, why isn't it happening now with the current homeowners down there?
There it is happening, I
Right.
don't want it to get any worse, so.
But the issue isn't actually the amount of traffic on their street, it's the traffic on Lenora, which
Yeah.
I don't know that there's anything we can do.
Speed bumps.
Yeah, yeah, 45-mile-an-hour speed bump.
There you go.
A roundabout, we'll just.
There you go.
All right, then we have under new business, we've got the adoption for the millage rate. My understanding was from the special call meeting this morning, there wasn't anybody, no one came in to provide comments. I haven't heard anything from anyone.
Could have left my car running.
I appreciate all of you who were here for having a quorum. I was able to go to my mom's doctor's appointment with her.
Our esteemed Mayor Pro Tem did a good job.
Good. 'Cause I knew he would.
Yeah, I forgot to introduce everybody then too, so.
Then we have the sidewalk project bid award for backbone infrastructure. Any questions on that one?
It's too bad the low bidder could not get bonded, but these folks have been fully vetted. They're a GDOT qualified contractor, good references, and we feel good about recommending them.
Good deal. And then for the amendment for the waste management contract, we haven't gotten the language on the contract yet. So
But we know what it's gonna be.
we know what the amount's gonna be, so Butch asked if you would phrase your motion to authorize me to sign the contract once the language has been reviewed by the city attorney for the 4% increase.
And making sure the only language changes pertain to the recycling program change, so.
Does that need to be in the motion, or does that, it doesn't?
I think a motion.
Okay.
Okay, and that's it for the regular meeting. Any correspondence?
No, ma'am.
City attorney's report?
Johnny Green, our lead code enforcement officer, has asked if we can move for an abatement of the nuisance on the old Waffle House property right at 78 and 124. They've mowed it recently, but have not cut down the weeds, and all the garbage is still out there. So I don't need a formal vote, I just need you all's consensus go ahead for me to go ahead and file the lawsuit.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Amen.
I'm good on it. That's all I have.
Ongoing projects.
This will be pretty quick tonight. The library is still waiting on their furniture. Thrive will be hosting the business after hours tomorrow night at 6. And they are probably, I would say, after walking through there today, 90% of their furnishings are in. Conference rooms, classrooms. They don't have any tables yet out in the open terrace area. And they're still working. They're still working on that. But it's plenty to have a good event tomorrow evening. So I hope we have a good turnout there. It is the Grove F&E, the benches, the trash cans, the tables, the chairs. I'll say they're about 75% ready for install. The library Thrive building will be turned over to us Friday morning, or to us in the county. We should get the keys, should get everything then, and Reeves Young should be gone. So
Have we heard from the county on a ribbon cutting date?
What's that?
Have we heard from the county on
I
a
have
ribbon
not.
cutting date?
On the
I've not.
library?
Yeah.
I met with their communications person last week, Duffy Dixon,
Uh-huh.
and they're in the process, you know, it's all how they move like that, but she'll keep us posted.
Okay.
They don't have an open date yet?
They don't have a grand opening date.
Okay.
A ribbon
A
cutting.
ribbon, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I,
Yeah.
I don't know
Sometimes
exactly when
those
they
don't
plan on,
coincide.
there's a whole process with the moving, and she went over it, but once they start doing it, you know, hopefully they'll let us in on the schedule. I'll touch base with
yeah.
her again.
I'm gonna start returning my books over to this.
But we aren't holding up the FF&E. We're gonna put the benches, everything out there, as quick as they can get them out there. Because, I mean, every time you walk through there, you see 8 or 10 residents with dogs and just biking through there and whatnot. So, it's time to start activating everything. Castro is making progress on the landscaping, getting it under control. They went ahead and aerated the grass area, starting to look thicker and better. The pavilion is going vertical. We have the center post in, and so then you can see the branches going in. So it's really going to be a cool structure. The sidewalk improvements, we met with the county, one more meeting tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, where they are having a public open house on their water line project. And so the coordination is going very well there. As we talked earlier, the low bidder was disqualified on our part of the sidewalk improvements. And we're recommending the second low to move forward. So, and their contractor is Dickerson, that we know very well. And so, and we're gonna get a bargain in the pavement, the redoing the streets there. Everybody on Valley Creek, we're gonna love it. City business cleanup. I know there's another item on the agenda about the recycling program. I sent a little memo, gave everybody a little memo, talked to Todd and Barbara earlier about that. When I say there's one question left, we didn't know how you wanted to handle May 1st of next year, the new annual sign up. Barbara and Todd made it pretty clear. You want us to continue to keep open enrollment and try to do as much as we can electronically and through our IT improvements to make it easier on folks. And so Craig is working on that now. So we've got some time here. We aren't going to get. We're going to start early next year, but we'll bring some updates back to you as soon as we can. But Craig, go ahead.
But for now, people are being allowed to sign up as needed, so no more angry phone calls from folks. Have we worked that out?
We're gonna start August 1st.
August 1.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
And that's what we told folks who I've talked to who were complaining. They're very happy with that.
Okay.
Craig put some interesting numbers together on the recycling market. And some of the numbers that Craig had in August of 2022, the OCC per ton,
What's OCC?
Cardboard.
$125 a ton. It's now $55 a ton. The mixed paper was $40 a ton. It's now $15 a ton. I mean, these are the kind of markets that they're having to deal with. But when it comes to usage of the center is kind of amazing to me. May, scrap iron, 33,130 pounds. And in June, it was 77.8, more than double. But glass almost tripled, went from 20,000 to 58,000. So people are showing up at the recycling center.
I guess now that people are bringing recycling to the center, they're doing the glass now
I
too.
mean, it is, like today, most of the whole day, 6 to 7 cars lined up all the way across all the recycling areas all day long.
So
So,
is glass break even still?
well, I mean, glass is making, it makes, it holds kind of steady, just like.
Right,
regular
but-
aluminum, but it's making a little bit more money.
Put that in
especially-
minutes.
especially triple it.
Right. I'm just wondering if that's costing us money. We're not
I
gonna
mean,
change
we
it.
don't pay, in our contract, all of the hauls for all of our recyclable containers are in the contract, so the only thing that we actually pay the haul is just the junk container.
Right.
And then, so,
I was just wondering if it's bringing us in any money.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, see, what we don't get in price, we're making up in volume.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll show you the impact. Craig's got a lot of that information also. When we get all of June, we'll just send them the info. But it's kind of interesting.
Maybe we'll have you do, like in September, maybe do a
Department report.
department report at the council meeting.
Yeah.
And
Let's,
So, let me ask this question. Would we be able to know if under our old curbside recycling program and how much of that curbside recycling was actually getting trashed because it was so contaminated? Would we be able to say confidently that we are receiving more recyclable goods that are good than we ever were under our free program?
I mean, I would say that most of the loads were contaminated that Rick took out, so that our calls have went down so much with people actually paying to recycle that want to recycle. If there was any issue at all, it was just an issue where maybe they just put one thing in that they had no idea that couldn't go into the curbside recycling. So it's cleaned up the recycling tremendously, so.
So in between people bringing stuff to the recycling center and the curbside people that are recycling,
Right.
we're actually recycling more than we were under the free pickup.
So, yeah.
The amount of stuff that comes to the center though in plastic number 1 and 2 is a little more, there's a lot more work to it because, of course, nobody's standing there watching them to recycle, so,
So you're getting some.
like last week, it just depends, they may throw some stuff in there that we just have to weed through, so. But overall, it's clean.
I know the signs say this is what goes in here. Maybe if we could put up some pictures, because I know with some of the soap containers, some of the laundry softener containers, they say they're number 1 or they say they're number whatever. But they may not actually be able to go in our bins through that stream because they're colored. So maybe if we had some pictures, easier to follow along, because all them words, man, they get confusing.
Yeah, we're gonna, right now we're working on trying to re-sign most of, with the new budget, the entire center, because, everything is dated, so we're gonna actually, have verbiage on 1 and 2 plastics, we're gonna make larger signs with bigger, and some artwork, so Translate is getting us that information, so we can.
Is color a problem? Is color a problem, like a blue container? If it's a blue number 2?
That's not number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's number 2, you're
Yeah,
good.
but, so we just been putting, Of course, we have put some stuff up by the door that people can have to where it has larger pictures and it's a color flyer, so it can give them a better, have a better visual of what they can bring to the center.
Yeah, you're pretty much down to bottles and containers only.
Yeah, so we're gonna put up, and also down number 1 and 2, we've just had an issue with bags, so I've got them to add about 3, no bags in the recycle container, so they can, just not toss the bags in with the rest.
Just make sure there's trash cans to put those bags in.
Yeah, so. we've got plenty of room.
Okay.
The quality of life, just like the Waffle House, I mean, we continue to address issues, Snellville Pavilion and whatnot. Johnny and Brianna out there working hard. Development zoning guidelines, Jacobs is starting the comprehensive plan update. We've got the stakeholder interviews, and that includes all of you, August 10th and 11th. We'll get you scheduled, and there are some there's Zoom availability there. So hopefully we can it's a very good list of people. I think it'll be a good start for the update. As far as development, with the delay of Rosebud and 78, we'll move that to August 14th. Jacobs will also be here on August 14th, really for just a public kickoff for the plan. Package sales, we've got Chuck and I and Matt and Jay are working through that, and I believe we can get the letters out this week. Briscoe Park progress. I'm glad, I appreciate everybody's participation Friday and Saturday. What you could do, looking at, I have to believe it helps to see buildings on the ground and what other people are doing, how they're operating, the tools they're using. And Lisa, I think Matt said this earlier, but the variety was very good. I think you got to see, it wasn't the same every place you went to, much different, got a lot of ideas, so I'm glad that process has started in earnest. At the park, the lake wall basically is substantially complete. There's some cleanup. We're going to go through with the engineer tomorrow afternoon to basically put a punch list together. There's not going to be much of a punch list. Dickerson has done a great job. On the maintenance facility, building delivery expected in late August, and the site work is moving now. Poured a lot of concrete early one morning. Matt got to meet some more of our citizens and let them know that it's going to be a little activity in their backyard at 5 o'clock in the morning last week. So
Lucky you.
It's always good news to deliver.
I've given him my Kevlar vest. I've already passed that on, so we're in good shape there. North and Wisteria, I feel really good about my latest conversations with all the property owners. We should have some signatures, and surprisingly, nobody wants to bring their own appraiser in. There are a couple of attorneys that we've talked to, but that project is so desired by everybody. I think we'll have those signatures in hand shortly. And Larry Kaiser continues to work on the traffic calming plan, so we'll have him come back in August, either the first or second meeting probably.
Back to the sidewalk improvements, Matt, were you able to get in touch with the person on Pinehurst that was hard to get in touch with?
She's out of town, but yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Coming back?
Yeah. Probably not.
So for the next item on the work session agenda, there's a section of a local creek that runs
over here between east,
Wherever we are.
behind the trail, Greenway Trail.
Right behind Tom Flynn's house.
And that's also, it was Nelson Williams' neighborhood as well, and there's a section of the creek there that does not have a name on it. So Eric Van Otteren several years ago had started kind of a request with the, whoever it is.
Geologic Survey.
Yeah, about naming that after Nelson Williams. So I wanted to see if everybody was agreeable to doing that. He was a
Longtime volunteer.
longtime volunteer and,
Ran our elections and.
yep,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
DDA.
Yep.
Did a lot of stuff.
he did a lot of stuff. So, everybody good with that?
Yeah.
So let's see what we need to do
That'd be
to
great. We've already made contact again, so.
finish that out and then let his family know and we can maybe do a whole little,
Hopefully by then the trail will be open, so there'll be access back there.
back in there.
Mhm.
Good. Item C, Christmas decorations. Mayor Pro Tem Warner.
So
Christie.
everyone received an electronic copy of my notes, and I gave you a hard copy, just because the visuals, sometimes are not as great as they could be, so you can refer to your electronic copy. After meeting with a few vendors, studying the issue carefully, taking a trip down to the merchandise mart, and really assessing our needs. These are our recommendations. And the very first thing that we have got to work on is our infrastructure. We're getting a lot of criticism about our Christmas decor along the pole mount areas, but those pole mounts do not have electricity. So that is the number one thing that we really have got to start with. Craig can speak to that maybe a little bit more. He's received an estimate from Doug Underwood.
Yeah, USA Electric for that, and it's involving all of the decorative light poles that are on 78 and all of the new intersection that comes down from westbound to the church here. They're all new, so all of those have to be wired through.
So that's part of one of the problems that we've had in the past with getting the different units to look the way that we need them to look. So we're recommending a 3-year leasing contract. Leasing would include planning, installation, maintenance, and storage of the Christmas decor, the holiday decor. Within 24 hours, this particular company that we met with, actually Roger Grant, Leslie, he and his wife own this particular business, Grant Lawn and Decor Services. Very, very competent, definitely thinks that they can be of great service to us. Butch did call one of the cities that they work with, and they had nothing but very positive things to say.
Conyers and Matt
Conyers
talked to
and-
Roswell
You
today.
did talk to Roswell? Okay.
Positive,
So, and very positive, okay. So people who have worked with them before, cities similar nature to us, definitely pleased with their services. It gives us a great deal of flexibility when we're looking at different phases of the Grove opening around the city. Within 3 years, we're gonna look very different than we do now. The storage, I think Public Works can speak to the challenges that they've had in dealing with the equipment, trying to put the pole mounts up, trying to maintain them, but this is the company that will deal with all of those things for us. Of course, for a fee, so we've got to talk about that. Decor, existing areas, we've broken that down into trying to do something with our current wreath pole mounts. rotating new ones in, hopefully every other working structure that we have. And we thought, we've seen some of the displays that I put in here in your notes with the stocking and the brighter pop colors, that's for Kelly. And eventually phasing out the wreaths that we have because they are very difficult to see. Trying to go forward with a 3-year replacement plan for our tree, which our life of our current great tree is about that. So for now, we're gonna supplement balls, ornaments onto it to shore it up for the next couple of years. And what we do- decorations, we do need to look at replacing that within the 3 to 5 year period. There are a lot of things that we would like to add around the town green, and I put that on there, lighted gift boxes, 3D multi-pointed stars along our entryway, gateway signs. We really want something on the intersection of 124 and 78, once we get power, that is. And, let's see, lights, outline City Hall, possibly the adult activity center as well. Considering RGB light changers, so those lights would stay up on the building all year, and we could change them whatever color, whatever season we wanted to with computer. So think about that. Wrap lights on existing trees, decor to the Veterans Wall, a lighted archway, and then if you flip it over, that really is the part that focuses on the grove, which we're assuming everything's gonna be ready for our holiday decor by mid-October, hopefully. And the walkway areas need to be wrap lights on those trees. We need to do something with the tree save area as well, possibly 3D large stars, icicle lights, tree branches. Then we get into some archway ideas, as well as really a lighted archway, kind of a tunnel part that we were looking at in the West Promenade, whatever. A showstopper feature, which would be something that people would come to this city for in particular. Photo ops all over the place with one of these features that we would like to have a walk-in gift, maybe a 3D, it could be a 2D structure with a bench out front. I've got that in here. My personal favorite would happen to be the reindeer and the sleigh. Scene 28, but you know, those were wish list items. And again, these are all leased, not being assembled by staff and not being stored by staff, not sitting in a warehouse for 9 months or 10 months after we spend thousands of dollars, but these are all leased. So just kind of keep in mind when we get down to, we've got to decide what to do with the existing banners. We thought the sidewalk areas, they're on the smaller side, so you're looking at really not putting them in 78 and 124, but really more so the Grove area for those. And then eventually we're going to have a community center at Briscoe Park opening up just like, 6 months, right? As well as the old library building that will be coming live as well. So consider adding in decor services to Briscoe Park and the surrounding areas as well within 3 years or so. Anything that I missed?
Gee, I think you covered it pretty well. We haven't talked to the company yet to get prices.
That's what we need now. Here is can we go forward with this? what is it that everybody wants to do? You want to study for a little bit, get back to us as to whether or not to make an appointment, get a walkthrough quote.
For some of these things like the showstopper, photo op,
Right.
we would need to order like now.
And, we're ready, we will jump on this as soon as you want. As you can probably tell, time is really important factor for getting everything into place for this season. So as quickly as you want, we'll move.
Roger, he won't be available until 31st. Once he gets back, he was feeling well last week, and wasn't able to look at all of the existing poles yet, so. he wants to go through those. It'll be the 31st before he can come out.
Okay, so hopefully we can coordinate.
Craig, how many man hours, or how many men for how many days do we tie up every on decorations up and down?
Especially from the end of Halloween all the way up to the exception of emergencies, all the way to Thanksgiving.
And then,
So, I mean,
and then time taking
So-
them down.
So a month going up,
well over a month of time to do everything.
so just saving being able to have you all work on other projects probably is worth a fair amount. I know one of the items on here says hang existing banners on decorative poles and sidewalk areas of the grove. I thought we were having issues with being able to use the banners we had on the poles we had, they didn't match or something like that. We're
Yeah, we
good?
ordered new banners.
Okay.
The ones that we did have just over time, the quality that they were, what they were made out of, the sun, we just made it to where they.
Gotcha. I'm
So
sorry.
we were able to get this.
And with the centennial celebration coming up, we're gonna start hanging those banners up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one.
And, I mean, if August 15th is kind of a drop dead date, and if we don't move on this, we're gonna pretty much have what we have last year.
So do we have any idea on pricing yet, or how do we get that? Because that would be, how much we can do for what kind of pricing.
Right, what we can do is, we've discussed hotel motel tax, and our partners are, 50%
In the grove
In the
itself,
grove area,
yes.
that's one of
I gave this
Okay.
information to David Bruner,
Okay.
and I told him we needed some input.
We're happy to
Today.
meet with him whenever on that, but
He really liked the, having a showstopper out there.
Good.
great. 'Cause it's, I mean,
That's our most costly
it's- Right, so, that is, those are the money items in the Grove, and that's kind of the way we intend, not purposely, because, we wanted to take advantage, but the issue is that's gonna be the meeting point. Just to give you an idea that they do Roswell, and their contract is somewhere in the 80,000 for each year. But we're not Roswell, so less than that would be the only.
And then you just pay it out one time a year, so one-time
And you
payment?
can renegotiate that contract every 3 years.
Okay.
And it's more so, there's a lot of flexibility with it. We can add things, it's easier to add, they just, they want a commitment when they order something for 1 year.
Right.
We're gonna have it for just a little while, but as things start to age and change and
Then
we
they
grow as a
replace it.
city, we can renegotiate this in 3 years and it could be completely different. We could have a Briscoe Park coming on, the buildings there, we could have another phase of town center opening. And this allows you to make those changes and not have the same tired things that you have every year. Oh, there's those wreaths again. There's those wreaths again. And 20 years later, we still. So this keeps everything fresh.
Okay.
I would say item A, infrastructure, that we take care of that as soon as possible.
Yesterday.
Because those are gonna be needed no matter what we do on the rest.
Absolutely, because we can have all the lights in the world, but if we don't have any power sources, we're powerless.
Right, so the question is, do we wanna phase out the current wreaths and do every other pole, or do we just wanna go to new lights?
I think we can get prices on either one.
Right, but.
Yeah, I would say let's get the pricing and
Okay,
kind of see where
so,
we are.
and that would be item 1, item 2, skip over 3, because that's later, and 4, well, we need the additional decorations, so.
We've got a quote on that, and I can order, we can order it tomorrow.
I
if
would
we
say
need to.
the additional items need to be, for the tree, definitely need to be gone this year, but we definitely want to get moving on that. And so then it's just a matter of, what do we want to do as far as moving along? Item 5, do we want some extra swag around the centerpiece tree or not this year? And remember, we can add that years going forward.
Will that
And-
cause a problem with the crowds we have at the tree lighting?
No, if you recall back many years ago.
We had those
We had
boxes.
some boxes out there,
Yeah.
and that was brought to my attention also recently, that people would like to see those boxes, because they're a good photo op for
Yeah.
people. So, I think they'll be fine. They're lit, it's not like they're going to go on, and they're not that
That big,
intrusive
okay.
where- Right.
Okay.
And if they're damaged, we call someone and they take care
Well,
of it.
that's the beauty of it. He said within 24 hours, they are out and they are on the poles and fixing what needs it and looking good.
So the real question is, item 6, do we want to look at decorations, ground decorations to be put at the 78 Oak Snellville sign and the about-to-be completed Snellville sign there at North and 124 down at Scenic Point?
We need power.
There'll be power there,
Oh.
because there's lighting for the sign, so there'll be power.
Those kinds of details, we don't necessarily need to look at that because some of this is going to depend on when we get
Total price.
Roger and Leslie out and do the walkthrough, what they think, because that's part of their services too, so.
I'd
they
be
can
a
have
little,
that
I mean, I
vision.
like the idea of having something down at 78 and Oak, but if you've got the big tree and the gifts and stuff sitting around the tree on the green, would that distract from that?
It's far enough away.
Only
Yeah.
I mean, there are going to be a lot of people going down 124 that aren't going to see.
It's a gateway.
Yeah.
It's a gateway.
Yeah,
So,
we were thinking of like some smaller 3D stars, something like that.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about the 124 one, I was, when you've got the 78 and Oak
Oh,
Road,
Yeah.
right
Just
there.
some
'cause that's
small,
right.
by the entrance.
Yeah.
Just-
oh,
just-
yeah, no.
On the gateway signs, that's all. And that,
I was just gonna say, just to be clear, there is power there, but not actual outlets. So it would have to be, someone have, but that's not included.
Still need to be retro.
Are you talking about
At the gateway
Oak
sign,
and 78?
just like the gateway sign coming in, yeah, well, at 124 and 78. Now, I'm not sure if the sign at Oak and 78, car wash, I haven't been over to that one. But the entrance from the westbound side coming to 78.
The one-
There's power there, but there's
Are those-
no outlets to, so it would have to be there.
What else do we need, because we need to wrap this up, we've got a couple more
First
things.
thing
on
is
the
just start with the power, which.
Yeah, I agree.
We got a good quote on that.
Can we go ahead and get a quote and do the walkthrough and present that back?
Yep.
Okay, so, awesome. And we're
Well,
gonna order ornaments.
Yeah, I just wanted to see
Great.
what other of these items does anybody want to see happen this year? Because if they're going to happen this year, we have to move forward fairly soon.
I think scene 29 would be really good to have somewhere, because that's a perfect place. People like to get up in the,
Well, I'd say scene 28, but whatever,
And a lot of it is what's available.
right.
Well, the one is a horse and the other are reindeer.
Yeah.
If-
So,
Yeah, if it's on back order or if they can get it within a six, so some of that's gonna, so
That's a factor.
don't get heart set on
Right.
any one thing.
but some of the things like light added archway,
Right.
10-foot sidewalk, we're already talking about potentially with Michael Kidd having an archway. So
This
that would
year.
be premature. Well, who
This
knows?
year, But this is here this year, not maybe next,
Yeah.
Right, well, so,
lease, but we,
I think we need to get
We'll do a
prices
walkthrough.
and then we can start
Picking and choosing from there.
start
Okay.
prioritizing. I think that's our next
okay,
step.
excellent.
Very
As
good.
long as we have your blessing.
Good job.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Gretchen, the tree save area in the Grove.
Okay, I put this on the agenda because when we went to the Grove last week to, try to talk about what we wanted to do Christmas decoration wise, I really hadn't been there since they had done a lot of the landscaping, and I was kind of really, really surprised at what the tree save area looks like. I mean, the weeds are waist high, there's vines in there. Is somebody gonna clean that up?
Yeah, the folks who have been protecting it, they're scheduled to clean it up. A lot of what's in there is worth saving, but they're gonna clean up the invasive stuff and everything, so
Well,
it
that's
will
good
be.
to know, because I thought,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, we're gonna have a business after hours looking down on the weeds, and
Yeah, well, it will be cleaned up.
that's good to know.
But probably not by tomorrow night.
Yeah, probably not by tomorrow. I just wanted to be sure we had plans to,
Yeah.
I was thinking,
And
is
if
this
not, we
gonna
call Johnny Green when we get it done.
keep looking like this?
Take a weed eater.
It'll need a weed eater.
All right, and Gretchen, you've got the next item, item E.
When some of us were at the last Snellville Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association meeting. And Greg mentioned at that meeting that, I guess like the week before, when that they had had 4 robberies of restaurants in Snellville.
burglaries.
Burglaries. What did I say? Robberies?
Robberies.
Burglaries. 2 were in Snellville Plaza, and then 2 more going down 78. And he was surprised that only one of those 4 restaurants had cameras.
Or an alarm. No alarms, right?
We didn't receive any
Oh,
alarms. I believe one of the businesses had an alarm, but did not have.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, we received one alarm.
Okay.
One alarm out of 4.
Yeah, one alarm.
And so we just kind of talked among ourselves at the Alumni Association meeting, and we said, should we think about requiring businesses that do perhaps certain volume of business, that they have to have cameras at all points of entry, or something to think about.
DeKalb County just put in place a policy that requires that cameras at all the, I know it's at all the convenience stores, gas stations, but I think they've now extended it to restaurants, drive-throughs, that sort of stuff. Just so you can tell what the vehicle was and potentially general description of the folks, which I think would make your job
Would
easier.
that help?
Well, it definitely would help, but we have to balance with that. Would it curb any business from coming into the city? So, I mean, from my perspective, let's get all the cameras we can get, but that's up to y'all to see how that impacts the business.
We'd have to investigate, because a lot of them can't afford the flock cameras.
No, I'm
So
not
you have
talking
to have
about,
an alternative.
We weren't talking
Yeah, I know, but
flock cameras.
some of them can, and that would be better, but,
They're just talking just
Yeah.
a video camera
Cameras.
with a
flock
alarm.
camera,
Yeah,
Totally different beast.
I mean, I don't know, we could look at what DeKalb passed, you know, get their ordinance, but I wouldn't want to tie it to a sales volume, because then that puts us in a, we gotta know what their sales volume is, and then when do they trigger over it, and then they have to go back and retrofit buildings for
Okay.
something like that. I wouldn't tie it to something like that.
Yeah,
It's either
that's
you have it or
probably a
you
good
don't.
point. Yeah,
But then again, too, I mean, the other side of me says, if you own a business and you're choosing either not to have an alarm system, not to have a working alarm system, not to have cameras, I mean, that's kind of like your choice that you're making and your cost that you're putting out. It's a little bit more of a burden. I mean, to me, it's kind of like a common sense thing, but
yeah. I mean,
Not
I was just
everybody,
thinking
if you're-
also in terms of
if you're counting dimes in a
the city
business.
being seen as a safer environment. I mean, fewer
More people
burglaries,
watching, yeah. But let's,
fewer crimes.
maybe pull the DeKalb ordinance and see what they're doing with that, and
Yeah,
then see
You
if
can
we
get
can.
cameras pretty cheap if it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
that. That's why I want to make that distinction between what you're
Between,
going to
no,
require.
we weren't
Yeah.
talking about flock cameras, just cameras at the points of entry. Okay, that was mine.
And I will waive the update on the recycling program because it was covered under
Okay,
the update.
well, we wrapped
Unless
up pretty
anybody
quick
has
then.
serious questions, I don't.
No. Does anybody else had any questions? I had a few complaints, but I think they've all been resolved. All right, so no executive session, so is there,
I thought we had to have it. We don't need an executive?
we're not doing exec tonight. So is there a motion to adjourn the work
Motion to
session?
adjourn the work session.
There's a motion, is there a second? Yes. And a second, all in favor? All right, we'll see y'all in there.